Okay, now look how nice she stands. Nice stance. She was sagging in the rear end before, and it was also blown. So I'm going to show you how to change out your rear shocks and your pump. It's real simple. You can do this, all right, and then your truck will be riding like it was new. All right, let's get started. Okay, my shocks came in for my 2013 Escalade, because when I did my tires, I found out that my air shocks were not filling up with air. Well, so I purchased them and then realized that my air pump wasn't working. So I ordered one of those and decided to order the hose kit just in case mine is damaged. Figure if I'm going this far, I might as well replace it all. Okay, well, let's open them up. Okay, these are the shocks. They look really good. The regular ones to order for the Escalade are a lot more money. These were $75 for the pair. And I checked it out. You know, Monroe is a very good name, so I don't expect to have any problems with this. And might as well save a few bucks at the same time. Okay, I bought the pump, and the pump was $149. It's aftermarket, just like the shocks are, but Monroe is a good name. It's an off-brand, but it had a good rating, so I went with it. I was looking at a different pump that sold the shocks and the pump together for about $350, but the shocks were rated very poorly. People were saying that the top broke and everything else, so I elected not to go with that. Okay, this one also gives you the wiring harness. Once I get into it, I'll know if I need anything else, but I believe everything is here. Okay, I ordered this hose kit, which it looks pretty similar to this partial hose kit. I don't know which one I'm going to use yet. For some reason this has 3 hookups. This one also has 3, but only gives me 2 hoses. This gives me all 3, but even the hookup doesn't look exactly like that one. And I don't know which one is on the car right now. This is made by Dorman, which pump, the Dorman also makes a pump that I understand is very good also. But I saved quite a bit of money going this direction and doing it myself. Normally, to buy the Escalade kit for the pump, the Escalade shocks, and the hoses is gonna run you over $550, okay? Right now, I have about $250, savings of about $300. Okay, well, before I jack up my truck, I do what I always do. I put a wheel chuck underneath my tire so that my truck doesn't roll away from me. Just some safety precautions. Okay. Jack it up. Let's get it set. before you jack it up all the way. Now, unless you have an air one, or they do make another electric one that's can do these. They have them in the shops, but they're expensive. So if you're only doing it once in a while, all you need to do is just break them. All right, good. Jacked up the rest of the way. All right, being I just had the tires done, rotated, I want to put it back on the exact same way I had it. All right, we're going to take out this inner wheel well. I don't know if you could see it, but the shock is blown.
Okay, it's a 7. You're missing. Had this out once already.
Okay, these things are very stubborn. Another one of them. There's 2 of these. All right, that one's just as annoying as the other one. Okay. All right, here's the shock. That clip came right off. It has a little tab on top. Pull it down, comes right off. That's your electrical. This one has this little clip. And this one should be for the air. Okay. Looking for the O-ring. All right, let me get the wrenches out, find out what size these are. Okay, so before I take it off, I realize this electrical connection and on the shock has a piece for it. This is the auto ride control that my truck has. when I ordered the shocks, I had ordered the Monroe, has for the air, but it doesn't have for the auto ride. So I investigated it and found out that I can buy a kit that I can put on here that'll trick the computer so the light doesn't stay on. And that cost $80. So I decided not to go in that direction. I'm going to return these shocks, and I'm going to get the set that goes with this vehicle. It's AC Delco. They are very expensive. It's taking me way out of what I wanted to spend, but I could either trick the computer or pay the additional money for the OEM shocks. I elected to do that, so I'm going to go ahead and put everything back together because they won't come for another 2-3 days. Alright, let me put it back together. I'll start this video up once I get the new shocks and change this out. Alright, let me put it back together. Well, I had ordered these, the AC Delco. Only one came, even though I ordered two. I'd been waiting 3 weeks and still have not received the second one. So I did some more research and I found another shock that was going to work, because these AC Delcos were $265 each. And this other set that I found had good reviews, and it was only $200 for the pair. Monroe didn't have it, so I was going to have to trick the computer, and I did not want to do that. So I turned around and I bought some AC Delco shocks. They were $265 a piece. I ordered two and only one came. So waited almost 3 weeks and still nothing. So I went ahead and I purchased these. They look good. We'll have to see how they work. The Monroes were $80 for the pair. The AC Delcos were $265 each. And these were $200 for the pair. I reviewed a lot of different ones, and the reviews were pretty bad on the majority of them. This one seemed to have good reviews and would hook up to my truck. So I'm going to go ahead and give it a shot. All right, let's get started. Okay, let's get started. Now I'm going to take the tire off again. And look how bad that shock is. All right, I'm going to move forward and pulling out this wheel well cover. Okay, I brought this little tool because I bought some new ones to put in after I remove these. They can get pretty messed up. They're cheap, so I bought some new ones. And they just push in, but I've taken them out once already when I had the other shocks, so I went ahead and bought some new ones.
I'm going to go ahead and take the whole thing out and get it out of the way. That little drain was clogged. If nothing else, that's why you should take this out of the way.
Okay, so this is the air shock. You can see how bad it is. When I was doing the brakes, that's when I saw it. So we have a couple little things here. This one here is the air pressure, and it has this little clip that you just pull off. Okay, real simple. And then this just comes out. Okay, now this is the electrical. This is why I didn't keep the Monroe ones, because it didn't have this on it, and I didn't want to trick the computer. So you see it has a little tab up here. Lift the tab, okay, and then it pulls right off. Okay, move that aside because you're going to have to reconnect it all. Okay, so this is the bottom of the shock. All right, these are 21 millimeter. So you put a wrench on one side and a socket on the other side. That one's tough. Okay, it started. Now let's get it off. Okay, with the truck jacked up like this, this wants to sag down, so it's difficult to get this nut out. So what I do is I get a second jack and I put it underneath here. I just lift it until this becomes nice and loose, okay? Then it just slides out, okay? Don't have to fight with it. Just get a second jack, lift it up. Okay, now we're gonna undo the top ones. Okay, and then this whole shock will come right out. This makes it much easier to deal with instead of fighting with everything. All right, let's do the top. Again, these are 21 millimeter. I'm gonna put the socket on the back. Okay, see if we can start to get this loose. Okay, that one's coming off easy. So if you have an impact gun, this makes it easy. Okay, that's for the top. Okay, and there you have it. All right, now the only thing different, well, I don't know. Okay, well, let me get the new one. Okay, everything about them look the same. I think this is plastic. I don't think it's steel. This is definitely steel. This looks more vinyl. But new one of these would have been $265. And I got these for $200 for the pair, so it would be $100. So it's a saving of $165 per shock. So I'm going to use these, see how they work. If they work great, then that'll be it. I'll let you know. All right, let's get this one out of the way, and let's go ahead and install the new one. Okay, now, this is the part for the air. Okay, it has to come off in order to put this on, and we're going to have to check and see if that is fine. It looks like we're going to have to put the top one in and then lower this with the other jack to get to I'm able to depress it. Let's see if I can do it that way. Alright, I put it in. That air cap keeps coming off, so we're going to leave it off. Let's put this in the back. You know what? I'm going to let the jack down a little bit. Okay, what it's done is now taking the pressure off of the top. There we go. Okay, I'll put this on. All right. Let's see where we are with this one. Okay, you can put a large flat screwdriver underneath here to try to start to manipulate this. But ultimately, you're going to have to get this here, so you're going to have to depress it some more and get it into that hole. Use a little persuasion if you have to. Okay. Once you have them in, you can remove this other jack. Alright, well, being I'm down here, I'm going to go ahead and tighten this one up. Okay. Now, do the top one. Double check it, because these little battery ones aren't that strong. That's good. Okay, now this is the electrical one and the air. First we have to put the shroud back in.
Yeah, this one's a little bit tricky. Some of it goes under the lip and the rest over it. So I tighten up that one. I got these clips. You can reuse the old ones. I'd already pulled them a couple times, so I bought some different ones. And hopefully they'll work. Yep, okay. Or just reuse the old ones. These are 7mm. All good.
Okay, and before you put this on, I don't know if you can see it here, but you see this here? That's a valve stem, or a picture of a valve stem. So you want to align that up with where your valve stem is, okay? So our valve stem is this direction here, is through here. So that's where we're gonna put it. And that's how you line them up so these things don't fall off. Okay, let's do the driver's side. Okay, this shock doesn't look as bad as the other, but we're changing it out. Also, I believe the pump is broken. So let's go ahead and take this thing off. Okay, see, this is the pump. Now I know mine hasn't been working. I used to hear it whenever I would start up the truck in the morning and I would hear the pump go. I haven't heard the pump in a while. So I bought a new pump. Again, I bought an aftermarket one. The AC Delco one, I believe it was like $565, something like that. And I bought one for about $200. All right, well, you do the same thing as we did on the other side for the shock. So I'm going to remove the shock, and then we're going to remove the pump.
Okay, took the nut off. Got my jack. Okay, slide right out once you get high enough. Okay, let's undo the top one. Okay, once you loosen it up. Okay, same thing, clip on the top. Pull it off. Now this one, for the air, there's a different type of clip than what we had on the other side.
Okay, I don't know why it's different, but it is. Okay, now we have that one out. But before I put the new one in, I'm going to remove this pump and replace it with a new one. Okay. Okay, now I like to disconnect all this stuff because like this one goes to the other side, the other air shock that we just put on the passenger side. So I'm gonna pull the clip off and save it. Okay, so now that's detached out of the way. Now we have our electrical connection here. I can't see. We're going to have to do that connection, and we're going to have to take these hoses off because it's running in here. And once I detach this unit, I want to be able to drop it and not have to worry about everything. All right, let me try and get these pieces off. Okay, so I unhooked this hose, and then I put a screwdriver in this part here, which lifted it so that it could pull off. Okay, now we have this disconnected, have everything disconnected. Now we can undo the nuts on here and drop this. Now there's one right back here where there's a hole on the other side of the frame for you to be able to put the socket through to undo. So we're going to do that right now. Okay, so let's see if we can find it. All right, the hole is right up here. I checked it on the new one and it's a 13 millimeter. So I'm hoping it's correct here also. Okay, I was actually able to get it on without any extension, just the deep socket. All right, so let me get this off. Okay, now we have to undo these two that are on the right side of it. Let me get them off. Okay, now I remove the screws. Now this is just supposed to go up and the studs slide out. Okay, so let me give that a try. Okay, good. That's what happened now. Okay, and the studs just slide in at that spot right there. Okay, now have everything disconnected, take it down. Okay, here's the aftermarket pump. This screw goes into the back of the frame. These here go into the frame on the side. Actually, I think they just hook in the frame and then you tighten them up. All right, now I need to go and make sure all these connections are right. It looks like they give you everything. So I'm going to check it out before I remove the old one. Make sure everything's going to work. All right, let me check it out. Okay, this is the one that I just took out. And we can see that this wiring harness goes there, and this is the end that we're going to need. This kit came with two different harnesses. So this is the wrong one, which is the round one. That's for another truck or maybe a different year. And then here's the correct one. Okay. The clip is at the top, clip at the top, and then all the wiring pegs are in the same location. Okay, so this is the one we're going to have to hook up to this. Okay, and it'll come out here and it'll hook up to the existing harness. And these are the air pump connections, which they also give you for the new one. So we know the clear one to this is actually going to the pump itself, and then it goes to a small one that goes to the driver's side, and then the long one which goes to the passenger side. So this is going to hook up here. So we pull this off. And we're going to hook up the clear one to here. Push that clip on. So now we have the clear one to there, just like it was on the other one. This one is going to go to the driver's shock, and then the one for the passenger will go here. Okay, and it gives you a little place to clip this in. Okay, we have all the wiring harness we want on, the hoses where we want them. Now we just lift it, put it in those holes, and let her slide down. There we go. All right. Once you lift it up high enough, get all the pieces in, then she slides right into place. Now we have to go behind here and screw it back on, and same with the ones on the side. Let me get them all tightened up. Okay, now that you have it all attached, now let's get the harness. Make sure you have it correctly. Okay, can only go on one way, so you shouldn't have a problem. Okay, make sure you hear them clip. All right. Okay, this one goes to this air shock, and this one goes on to this piece, and that's for the air shock on the passenger side. Put it on. Okay, get your clip. Okay, clip is on. We have the passenger side on. These two will go to the shock that's here. Now, that's how you replace the pump. Okay, it's real simple. You can do this too. Okay, now this is the driver's side shock. That's for the air valve.
Slide that bolt through. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and hook up the electrical. Just clips right on. Okay, make sure I snap in. Okay, now this is the air for the driver's side. Okay, the O-ring on this one's getting a little snug. Get it all the way in. Okay. Alright, now that's on there good. Do the same thing now on the bottom. Now we can lower this jack. We can lower this jack so that it should fall right into place. Okay.
Okay, now both shocks are in, new pump, everything's hooked up. I'm gonna put the tire on and let's start her up. Okay, don't forget on this little cap, see that? That's a picture of a valve stem. Okay, locate your valve stem, which is here. Take that. This is to go just like that, where the valve stem goes. Then they fit in nice and tight and you won't lose them. All right, the pump came back on. Everything seems to be working fine now. The clip that went on for the passenger side, I must not have had it in good. Well, I definitely didn't have it in good because it was leaking. I got it on all the way, got the clip on. It was tough doing it with everything together, so I suggest checking it before you put everything back together. All right, looks good. They filled up nice, okay? This is how you change your shocks. Or to change your pump. I did both. I changed my shocks and I changed the pump. Okay, Building with Papa. Like, subscribe, and ring that bell. Give me a thumbs up. All right, see you on the next one. Okay, these are Auto Saver 88. They look good. They were $100 each, so it's $200 for the pair. everything lined up and everything worked good. I put the hoses together and had no leaks. I had one leak, but it was because I didn't have the cap on right. Once I put the cap on right, there were no leaks. All right, I'm gonna let you know how this goes. It's in my truck now, and it really looks good. I took the truck for a ride. It felt great. Next week, I'm taking my trailer up to Tampa and back, so I'll give you an update on how well they're doing. Okay, this is what they look like. All right, they say they work for 2000 to 2014 Cadillac, GMC, Chevrolet, rear air strut.